Hey,
Hi, welcome back to the Manor House podcast. I am Tino, and this is
Natalie.
and today we have a special guest. We have Kaelob Mecum, joining us all the way from Cincinnati. Uh,
That's right.
yeah, okay. I'm getting my states right. I'm learning. I'm learning. Caleb, would you care to give us a brief introduction into who you are?
Yeah, I am a songwriter, artist, worship leader, digital creator. I don't know, all the things creative, but primarily I love to write songs for the Lord, sing songs for the Lord, but especially those songs that are maybe things that are kind of hard to say, human condition things.
I love that. I'm interested. At what point in life are you like, oh, okay, music is something I want to do, or even just recognizing I can actually sing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I knew I loved music really early on. Started writing songs when I was like 12 years old, 13 years old, just making up stuff on the guitar. And they were all like dorky, like love songs, kid. I think I have a song called Busy Bugs that I wrote. It was like one of the first songs I ever wrote. I was like, that's so embarrassing. I should never have said that.
We're definitely going
Uh,
to contact you to hear that one.
Yeah.
yeah, I can still remember how it goes. But yeah, I did that. And I started off as a drummer in a rock band. And we
Oh,
were
wow.
like touring around and I played drums. I didn't sing yet. And then one day we were having band practice in my garage and somebody knocked on the door and it was my neighbor. It's a guy we went to school with. And he was like, hey, can I play the drums? And I was like, yeah, sure. But I'm the drummer. But he got on and he was so good that I just like picked up a bass guitar. And so then I started playing bass because he was so much better than me. And then I ended up saving up. I got an electric guitar. Then we got a new bass player. I was an electric player. And then we didn't have any songs. We were just doing covers. And so I was songwriter kind of, I guess. So I started writing our songs and those were the first like ones that we started doing in front of people and kind of toured around and did that for a little while. And then didn't know I could sing much. I wasn't really the lead singer of our band until I was in the military later after that. And we would march around and every once in a while they would have someone who was like really loud sing the cadences while we marched. And I would sing the cadences and some people came up to me, they're like, you have this really beautiful voice. Did you know that? And I was like, no, I've actually been told I'm not a good singer.
Wow.
And so from there, I kind of learned, oh, maybe I have a little bit of a vocal that I can try to use. And then after the military, I just kind of dove in and writing and singing and all that. It's kind of ancient history now.
Crazy.
That's amazing. Like
That's a
just
journey.
yeah, that's such a journey of like drums to bass to electric to singing the cadences in the military. Like, oh yeah, maybe I can. Yeah, let's do
Maybe
the
I can
singing
sing.
thing.
Yeah.
I just got like trying to get me there, and I just kept avoiding it, And he's like, "I'm just gonna
Yeah.
make it so obvious for you."
Was there a point where you recognize, okay, I want to make music for God? Because I know you mentioned at the beginning, like that is your passion. That's where your heart is, and we'll talk about it later. But yeah, some of your songs are very almost raw. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it almost feels like not a lot of Christian artists will dare
Say
phrase
that.
things like
Yeah.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like you listen to it, you're like, whoa, yeah, literally, I feel
Yeah.
it. I
Yes.
feel it. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
how did that kind of start or come about?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I were gonna give you a long story short, I got out of the military really quick. I ended up in Cincinnati. That's not where I was from. I had a layover here. Was in a bad spot in life, just, didn't have direction or anything. My uncle was the pastor of Seven Hills, the church that I was at for a long time and still love and tend. But he brought me in as an intern. I ended up just living, not getting on my flight to go back to Kansas. I stayed in my layover, lived in his basement for a year, interned for his church. And then we had this trip. We went on a mountain climbing trip. And on our mountain climbing trip, me and a few of my buddies were climbing free solo on the side of a mountain before our summit the next day. And we got really, really, really high. And my friend next to me, he actually fell and died on our mountain climbing trip. And in that experience, I was stuck on the side of the mountain for over 10 hours waiting for mountain rescue to come save me. And I was really kind of like new to being deep into my faith. I'd always been a believer, but not really given myself to that. And while I was on the mountain, I just kind of started praying and having this experience with the Lord, and not even to save me, but just like, God, if this is it for me, then I'm okay with you, and you're okay with me, and I can join you in heaven. And not really believing I was deserving of that, and then having that love chapter in my mind of His love keeping no record of wrongs, and everything that I had done in my life up to that point, not really glorifying God, but Him not really keeping track of all of that, just loving me. And when I come to Him, He would come to me. And I started singing this melody of "Your love keeps no record of wrongs. Your love keeps no record of wrongs," and that ended up being the very first song I wrote for our church at Seven Hills. And when I got off the mountain, finished the song, and the story was attached to it, wrote it, released it for our church, and the first time I saw, wow, there's a power to this. Like, there's a substance to writing songs that can change a room and change people's faith, and like make people believe that God can do anything, and that they're not lost, and even if they are lost, that doesn't mean they can't be found. And
Yeah.
Mm.
I just got the bug so deep from that experience, and what I saw the response of the church for that song. I just told God, I was like, this is what I'm going to do for you for the rest of my life, whatever it looks like. I'm going to write songs for you, and that's what it's going to be. So yeah, that was the turning point for me into Christian music.
Wow,
Praise God.
yeah. Praise God for that. Sounds like a very, very tough situation, but God turned that around.
That story always kind of shifts the atmosphere a little bit. Ooh, maybe I save that for the end thing next time.
No, 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 no. I think if anything, it gives a lot of context,
Yeah.
and kind of, yeah, helps us kind of understand a lot of the stuff from, like you said, that turning point from your music to now and the songs that we see now. Um, I I always have kind of this question with writers. Um, you mentioned how you kind of started with like love songs and
Rock
one about
music.
bugs and all of this stuff. What was the process of developing your own sound and being like, if I listen to this, I'm like, this is Caleb, or this is what I like, this is what I like to write. What was that process
Yeah,
like?
yeah. I think that my goal, especially for songs that I release as Kaelob Mecum, is I feel like I want to be the mouthpiece for people to say things that they feel, but maybe are afraid to say because it feels too human. Like, one of the things I kind of always experienced was that in Christianity and in our walk as like a broader people across most civilization, but especially Western civilization, is that we feel like we need to appear to have a perfect relationship with the Lord, and that if we don't appear, then maybe we're not as close to God as we'd like to be. But sometimes that appearance of like, I always have to keep up face all the time and not say this thing, even though if I were to say it, someone else would probably relate to it, and then be able to say, oh, I felt that way too. What did you do? How did you get past that? Because I feel this pain, or I feel this hurt, or this confusion, or this joy, and I don't know what to do with it. Um, and because we kind of always feel like we have to be perfect, then sometimes the problem perpetuates, and we as a whole, we don't like address it, and we're so afraid of our humanity. We're so afraid of who we are as people. But Jesus came to us as a man,
Mm,
Yeah.
and so he's not afraid or unfamiliar with anything any of us have ever felt. His response was different than ours, but he knows it, every one of the feelings. And so I was like, we should talk about it. And that was the basis for so much of my project, was let's just talk about it. And if nobody listens to the songs because it's not clean enough for you, or it's a little messy, then that's okay, because that's not really the point of
mm,
of what I'm trying to do. Um, and I just wanted to write songs that were really, really honest. And that was how I found my sound. So it wasn't even like a type of production or vibe. My voice is going to sound like my voice one way or another, but it was like every song has to pass the truth test. And if I said something or if I changed something because I felt like it was a little too raw, then I'm putting that back in. and I'm going to figure out how to make that be the thing.
I love that.
Yeah, I really love that.
So, okay, you've got an upcoming album coming out on 27th of
Yeah,
March.
27th of March.
Yep.
Yeah, called The Lion.
The Lion. Yep.
Super excited. And we've
Thank
already
you.
heard some of the songs on the album, so some of them have already been released. Like, you've hit the brief.
Yeah.
They're raw, they're real, like, real life experiences. And I don't know if this is bold to say, but it feels like we're hearing your life story in a way. Like, you know, when you can hear a song and you know someone has been through something.
Yeah.
It feels like these songs have testimonies behind them. Like, you're not just writing them just to be like, you know,
Yeah.
there's lived testimonies behind these songs.
Yeah.
And the song that we wanted to talk to you about is called You Lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like I don't know, your music's just always gonna make me cry. And I'm not trying to
Oh,
cry, but you know,
thank you.
I enjoy crying when listening to your music.
Yeah, we're
It's not
house of cries
Thank
over
you.
here.
Good.
yeah, liberating.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can you talk to us about the idea behind this song, or the testimony behind the song? Like, where did this song come from?
Yeah. That song, I'm so proud of that song. It's not the song that I thought people were going to love. It's not. It's actually the song I was pretty sure was going to get me in a little bit of trouble. But so it's like a two-parter. I was going through a really, really, really difficult time, as you can tell from like the very first line of the song, and just like really confused with life and kind of the circumstances of life and what is kind of going on with my family and in my career and in just like the broad life spectrum. I was like, wow, these are a lot of punches we've had to take. Like, I'm not 100% sure why. Like, when's the reprieve coming from this? And I've always tried to stay pretty optimistic my whole life. You know, we've had a lot of different things happen in our family that have been pretty difficult to walk through. And you know, I've always known that God was there and he was present. He was a redeemer of all these things. And so I was really able to stay mostly optimistic, but it kind of the straw that broke the camel's back was after going through a season of like almost heartache with some family things that were going on in my not my immediate family like my wife and children, but my extended family. My daughter was injured and severely injured and hospitalized for over 5 months. And so we were I mean, she nearly died multiple times in that 5 months, and then wasn't expected to have a great outcome, has had a beautiful outcome, and God has been miraculous and supernatural. But I remember sitting down and the very first line is that guitar part, I started playing that, and I just said, God, I'm just angry at you right now. I wasn't even singing it. I never said that out loud, like, because I always thought, you know, we should have reverence for the Lord. And but we're humans, we're people, and he made us this way on purpose. It wasn't this accident that we can question, that we can say, that doesn't feel right. Like, where's the justice in this, God? And so the very first thing was, I just talked it out. I was like, God, I'm so angry at you. I've been angry at you. And then I just started singing, God, I've been angry at you lately, trying to make sense of this life, you know? And I ended up saying my life, but, then I wanted to bring to attention, I didn't want the song to just be this like bitter thing about God where, God, I'm angry at you. This sucks and this is bad. And I don't like that you're doing this, that you allowed this to happen. And there's no answers. And this makes blah, 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 blah. I didn't want to have throw a tantrum in the song, because I wanted people to hear me say, I've been angry at you lately. And then hear me say, but I'm still counting on you. Like, I'm angry at you. I'm confused. I don't know why, but I'm still counting on you lately. And in all of this, I'm still leaning on you, because you didn't do this to me. You know, God doesn't, that's not good theology to think that God is doing these things to us, but he can redeem it, and he will redeem it. Sometimes it's not on the time that we think it is. And so, I wanted to say what probably everybody else has felt, but never vocalized to that degree. other than maybe
Yeah.
in conversations with friends and family. And I just wanted to say, you know, I'm angry at you, but I'm still counting on you, and I still know that you're the way through all this, but it doesn't change the way that I feel. And that was kind of what the bridge, you know, it's just like that doesn't change the way that I feel about this thing right now. And so I don't know. That's a good answer, maybe it's a bad answer, but
No, it's a good answer.
it was just like let's talk about it. You know, let's say because there's not a if anybody ever says I've never been angry or never questioned God, they're liars.
That's very
I'm
true.
like
That's
you're a
very, very
liar.
true.
It's fine.
Yeah. Just admit it now. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Just admit it.
It's very interesting. Like you said, a lot of the time as Christians, we're like, I can't say this because I need to be reverent or I need to be respectful or like, um, almost we want to just say the positive things. But I think I preached a sermon once and I said like, honestly, God knows exactly what you're thinking anyway.
Yeah.
So like why
Yeah.
do we feel afraid to tell him? Like, because we can say to God, like, I'm not happy with this. I don't want this.
Mm,
But then it's how we view it because I'm not happy, but God, I know you have a plan or you can do something about it or like because he has the power to change it
mm.
or he has the power to not, but either way, he is good and he knows exactly how we feel.
Yeah.
So talk to him.
Exactly. Yeah, we so much as a people and followers of the Lord guard from God, we think somehow like our honesty.
Mm,
And exactly what you said, he already knows. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like I would catch myself in prayer and just like fabricating my prayer to be exactly what I thought God needed to hear. Like that would prove me to be like a good follower. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, he called me out. It's like, "Hey, come on. I know what you're dealing with. I know what you're thinking about. That's not true. Like, just
Yeah.
talk to me." Like, I have 2 sons, and when my son is 5 years old, and he'll lie a little bit. You know, he'll skirt around the truth or he'll hide some information from me, and I don't even understand why. Because I'm like, I wouldn't even been upset about that. But I love so much more when he comes and he's like, "Dad, can I talk to you about something?" And
Mm,
it's like something he's actually processing and like making his heart ache.
mm.
And he's afraid to tell me because of what I might think. But when he tells me, I'm so glad that he told me because I would rather that and know where he's at and then be able to kind of love him and guide him and lead him. And that's the way the Father loves us. He wants to guide us. He wants to lead us. He wants to hear it. He's not afraid of your tears. He's not afraid of the confrontation. It's He is a loving father. And that's the thing I hope that in all of the songs, we can have a dialogue that says, I'm not saying that people should just be calling out the Lord all the time, right? That's not it. But should we be able to process to God and then try to solve something unafraid of what it might appear to ourselves internally? We're the ones that are judging it. It's like we think that we're cringe to the Lord or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not cringe. He's good.
Yeah, I think the analogy of your son definitely helps, like
And
put in context as well.
I feel like that should be a song if it's not already.
Yeah.
If it was just giving song vibes.
The next album is called The River, and that's after my son's name is The River. His name is River. And so it's
Yeah.
Ah.
everything has a connection. So the lion is my son Judah. The river is River. And then there's a worship part 3 of this whole project at the end of the year called The Evangelist. And it's after my daughter, whose middle name is Evangeline. And so it's
Aw.
Yeah.
it's it's kind of got this like little family thing to all of them where these are messages to you, and this is how I hope you process the Lord authentically and honestly in your walk as
Mm,
an adult, whether I'm here or not. And this is how I thought about it, and whether it's right or wrong, it was honest.
that's
Yeah.
so beautiful.
I want to ask actually on that note, how has being a parent changed the way you approach music and writing songs and your creativity?
Oh man. I think that I've written my best songs through through things I wanted my kids to know about the Lord. Even worship songs. I think a song that I wrote for Seven Hills is called "Found a Love," and it was one of the first songs we ever released, and one of the more popular ones that they have. And that song was based on how I found God through the birth of my daughter,
Mm.
and like the love that I had for her, and then the love that I realized He had for me, because I never experienced what it would be like to love your child. So how could I possibly know exactly? I mean, we know how much God loves us, but that puts another spin on it, another
Yeah.
Mm.
perspective of like, wow, if I love her like this, but you love me even more, then
Yeah.
what am I doing? This is insane.
Mm.
So that song, and then another song called "Holy Eyes" was kind of like inspired by my daughter, and then all the kids. I just wanted them to have a point of reference for worship and Christian songs and songs about the Lord that came from me, that's almost like a letter to them, even though it's to
Mm-hmm.
God, but it's
Mm.
helping to help them hopefully. And the crazy thing is, now that I have kids and we've went through what we went through with our daughter, like for my creativity, it's probably dangerous because I know what's important now. I know what's important to me, what's important to my family, and I just don't care about all the trivial stuff anymore. So the industry of it all, I don't care. The who is the who's of writers, I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. That's awesome. Good for you. You wrote an amazing song for the Lord, but you are in no higher standing than any other writer or artist that is making music for the Lord in the Lord's eyes. And so
Mm.
it's really helped me in like deciding what I'm going to say and what I'm going to release. I don't care if it's if I had an A&R, they would hate me so much because they'd be like, I don't want you to release it. I'm like, I don't care. I'm doing it because I
We're
feel like the
doing
Lord is telling me
it.
to. I'm doing it. Um, and so I have a song coming out on the river called "Problem Child," and it's I would never be allowed to release it with an album with a label because it's just talking about I'm a little messed up, man. I'm problem child. But
You know,
But yeah.
yeah, I don't
I
know.
feel like Natalie's like that with my music. Like I'll write songs
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't think I should release this one. And she's like, yes, that's the one.
that's the one. That's good advice though.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
and we won't talk about that. There's a whole song that he wrote when we were dating, or even no, before we were dating.
Yeah.
And I was like, we've been married for like what,
3 years.
3 years, 4 years, and literally, I was like, I love this song so much. Are you gonna release it? He recorded it, still didn't get released. I'm like, I said, this album that you're now trying to record, it will be on this album. Like,
I have no choice. It's coming out.
it will be on this album.
He's making art for you. He's telling you it's
It's been
happening.
like
I
10
love it.
years now. It's been a long time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So
Good for you though. You need her.
Oh yeah, 100%.
this is why God brought me in your life. The
The flip
songs that
side
would
is
not
my
have been
wife
released.
is nervous sometimes when I'm about to put a song out and she's like, I don't know if you should release that. And I'm like, I'm doing it anyway.
It's like, oh no, what's he gonna say this time?
I'm like risking my marriage every time.
You'll receive random messages from us like, so we're questioning this song. Any advice? And you'll be like, yeah, just release it. Just release it.
Do it. But yeah, I'm the
Yeah.
worst person to ask because I'll be like, it's sick, do it. It's awesome.
Send it. I love that.
I was like meant to be a hype man. Like I probably, if I don't stay in music, I'll do music as like an A&R and
Yeah.
just probably mess up an artist's career and be like, yeah, let's go crazy.
But like you said, you lately, you didn't think that was going to be the one that everyone would be like, we love this song, but it is. So,
Yeah. I wanted to ask about the reception of that song. Yeah. What has that been like when you kind of are speaking to people or people messaging you in reaction to you lately?
So, you know what's funny is the reason I said that I thought it was going to get me in trouble is because the very first line is the God, I've been angry at you lately. And I was a little worried, my own fault. I just thought that maybe people weren't particularly going to be ready for that like honesty right out the gate. And I got a little bit. I got a couple like emails and I got a couple DMs that were like, they were more worried about me than anything. It wasn't like angry at like the fact that I was going to release a song like that or that I did. It was more like, you know, that God loves you and don't feel like he's mad at you or you don't have to be mad at him. And I was like, I think you're missing the point
Concerned.
of the song. Like I love, thank you for being concerned. Yeah. But I
Yeah.
think you're missing the point because it's not, for me, it's not even about, that's not the basis of it, of the whole song. The basis is the journey of being allowed to say that and then still knowing at the end of the day, like, I know life is hard. I know it's not going the way I wanted it to go. I know that blah, 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 but I'm counting on you. I'm still
Mm,
counting on you lately. And the point of it was supposed to be like an affirmation to, even in these times where you are angry and these times that you're doubting, like still look to the Lord. And so you typically, if I got an email, I was like, well, you just didn't listen to the whole song. You you turned it off a little early. But most people have reached out and that's been any of the traction or people reaching out to me to talk about my music has been about that song. And they're like, well, we just love how honest it was or how raw it was. And that was really beautiful, like confirmation from the Lord, I feel like, to say, hey, this thing is okay that you're doing. This honest thing is okay. Keep doing that. Um, and the messages, the DMs or the comment bar is, I have felt exactly this way before.
mm,
I've
Hmm.
felt
yeah.
exactly this way before. I've been here. Thank you for saying this. And that was it. The thank you for saying this that's probably the common thread of, I wanted to say it. I didn't know how to say it. I needed to hear it. And because it's like you, if you're going through something, like whether it's like in your marriage or your personal life or something, if it's sometimes it's anxiety or depression or some like really deep stuff, you keep it to yourself a lot of times. Like, I'm not even talking about the Lord, just like things that we're going through, we internalize it. But then sometimes you like hear in conversation someone who is vulnerable that says, man, I was having such a hard time and I was struggling with this or that. And I didn't know what to do, but this is kind of the thing, or eventually I felt better. Eventually I found this thing that got me through it, or time healed me, or whatever it is. Like, there's a million different things. And then it makes you think, oh, they went through exactly what I went through. I'm not alone. My situation is not necessarily unique. And if they can get better, I can get better. Or if they can get through it, I can get through it. And so that's why we have a responsibility as Christians to share our testimony, whether it's
Mm.
messy or not. And in songs, especially, it's, if it's messy, good, because somebody else's life is messy too. And you don't want them to be alone in their mess. Like, let's be
Yeah.
together in our mess.
To be honest, I think even for us as well, I think we've had the journey of, for me as a writer, listening to songs and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I felt like at that particular point, but I didn't know how to articulate it. But then someone else has now said that. And I feel like, yes, that's the thing. That's exactly what I wanted. And then having the almost the opposite of me being super vulnerable with something and other people going, that's exactly the thing I was trying to say, but I just didn't know how to say it. I didn't think I could say it. I think that's a powerful thing. And I think it's I sometimes think it's part of why we're supposed to have a community as Christians. Sometimes I'm not always going to be able to articulate how I feel about a particular thing, but you can. And by you doing so, you've given me the words to do so. So yeah,
And sometimes you're the answer to my prayer in the sense of like, there's things that you can share with me that can help me through my situation. I wanted to ask, what's your favorite part of the song?
My favorite part of You Lately is, I mean, I love the first line. I just like, it's really bold, but I also love the bridge. Sometimes life, or sometimes dreams light a fire, sometimes life burns them down. Um, it's just like the realization of like, sometimes, we get so excited about this thing that we think is the plan. But then life is life and it just burns those things down. And we have a correct response and an incorrect response, and the correct response is I'm still counting on you, but it doesn't change the way I feel. I think that line's really important to me because um I did vocational ministry for 10 years, and I loved it. It was incredible. I love to pastor people, and I don't know that it's out of the cards for me in the future, but right now it's a little bit of a different season. But the line of saying it doesn't change, or like that doesn't change how I'm feeling right now, is just because you talk through something with someone and you go to a counseling or you talk to a pastor or you talk to a friend and you are vulnerable and you are honest, and they give you all of this incredible advice and they tell you all these amazing things, and you maybe feel a little bit better, but it doesn't necessarily change that. It doesn't make it less hard. And you're still in the middle of the storm, and a lot of times people are giving you advice from the boat and you're on the waves. And
Mm,
you're like, well, thank you so much. That makes a ton of sense. And I can't wait to execute that. But I'm literally being tossed around by the waves right now. So I still feel that way. But thank you for giving me a life raft to hold on to in this season so I can not drown, essentially. So
Yeah.
I just felt like that. I feel like that line was important because it's just not your problems aren't just going to magically get better. Even going to church, I mean, that's the best start, and that's what's going to help you, spending it in community with people and listening to the gospel and all the different things. But it doesn't just make things disappear. Sometimes, I guess, supernaturally that can happen. I'm not going to discount that, but most of the time it's a process.
mm,
And the process is, hey, this is how I feel right now, and thank you, and this helps me. But being honest is starting to help me get to the next step. So I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know if that made
Yeah.
sense either. I'm a
No, that
No,
rambler
it
makes
did.
now.
sense.
It definitely made sense. There was a line that hit me. You said, "I'll make a plan, you tear it apart," and I was that line hit because it's very raw, and
Yeah.
I think, like you said before, I think a lot of people can relate to what you're saying because we've all made plans, and you feel like yeah, God's for this, and then
Yeah. He's like, nope.
just yeah, like well, even like for our testimony. I don't know if we told you, we built a little studio in our house.
Yeah.
And to get to this point, like, God just took us through some interesting steps. And it was like, okay, okay, we just bought a house and then lost our jobs vibe. And it was like, so, but we just bought a house. Like, how are we paying
Yeah.
for the mortgage?
Like we prayed, we literally prayed to God, we want a house where we can have people over, where we can host community. And he
Yeah.
gave us the house, like, this is great. 3 months later, I get like that call with my manager in HR, and they're like, you've been let go. And I'm just like, so God, that plan that we had,
Like, thought we were
what,
together on this
what's
one.
happening?
It's a whole lot, but
Yeah.
even through that, like, we felt like, I guess, a sense of peace, but it was
Yeah.
also it was a storm because it was
Yeah.
like
It
we
was
have
still
no
hard.
idea, like how we don't even know when the next job's coming. So
Yeah.
we've got this mortgage to pay, and there's no income, and I wasn't working at the time, so it was also just like there's genuinely like no income,
There's nothing.
like what's
Yeah.
going on, and then on top of that, it felt like God was saying to us, now's the time to build the studio. So with the redundancy pay, use that, build the studio, and let Christians come and record for free.
Yeah. And
Wow.
you're like, okay, the plan hasn't worked out, but at least, I've got redundancy pay, so I can survive on that. We can survive on that for the next couple of months. And then God's like, no, not even that. You need to build the studio. And I'm just like,
Oh, dude, I love that faith. That rocks so much.
Do you know what? It's weird because I think when we've been through the storms before, I know I start panicking. And I'm just like, immediately, if I don't see an answer that makes sense, I'm like, nah, like, it's game over, I quit. So this time, I was like, you know what, God's always come through before, so let's just listen and see where it goes. And he didn't let us down. It was not easy, but he didn't let us down. But the fact that it, like, that line,
yeah.
That's the line that hits, I'll make a plan, you tear apart, but then you send the flood, I'll build an ark. You guys did it.
yeah,
Yeah.
He's in the storm, built an ark for people.
yeah,
Like, that's so cool.
it's very cool. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Feels like you were in our life when
Yeah.
when this was happening, you know?
Yeah, I think the reason why we probably related to the song quite a lot is because there are moments of which we felt certain things that are being articulated in the song. Like when we were going through certain things, this was the bit that we felt. Because yes, there was a bit of that anger at the beginning of like what is happening? Like sometimes it's almost like I'm like, God, what are you doing?
Literally that.
Like things are actually going pretty well, and you've just thrown this, and then it's like okay. And then it's like, okay, I'm going through this, and yes, I have that hope now, but it's still hard, and I'm still struggling with all of this. So yeah, I think it's like hearing something like this perfectly kind of just captures all of those feelings, like the roller coaster of just the human experience of like you're gonna feel so much from just one situation, but
Counting
still
on
holding
you.
on, still counting on God and still holding on to Him.
I mean, that
Love
fills
it.
me up, man. Hearing that, like some of the song is like, I'm on 10 now for the rest of the week.
Oh, we love that. It's a good way to start the week.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna ask quickly about the artwork, mainly because I see there's two pieces of art behind you. So I was gonna ask you about the artwork, not just to You Lately as a single, but the album itself.
Yeah.
That's coming up. Yeah, what's that process for you? Like, how do you pick something, or do you have someone who's doing it for you?
I wish I had somebody doing it for me. Man, right? I think I love independent artistry. I think it's such a cool thing. I love labels as well. I think they're awesome. But I love that I get full control of the story, from the lyrics, the music, the album art, the way that I present it, the way that I talk about it, anything that I do. I love that I'm in full control of the story, even if it means less finances. A lot of times,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
it has higher integrity to me, because and I'm not, that's not a punch at any labels in our area, because I know them and they're great. Um, but like the album art, it matters to me in that it doesn't have to necessarily look exactly like the vibe of what the song is, but it just has to
Mhm.
like make me feel something.
Mm.
Mm.
And um I think that one in particular, I wanted it to feel kind of like fleeting a little bit, if that makes sense. Like that was the feeling, that was the word in my head when I started thinking, it was fleeting, and kind of like frozen in time. I don't know, like those are sort of the key. Maybe I'm not very cool or creative when I think about it, but sometimes I feel these phrases, and when I was making that album art, that was the words that I was feeling and thinking in relation to this song and what it meant to me, and that I wanted to like articulate a moment that was frozen in time, and it felt fleeting but also sad. But the birds, right? Obviously, like then it also is like there's a rising action to it as well. So maybe I'm overly artistic about that, but that was the feel for You Lately. And then for the lion, um, obviously I wanted it to be a lion, but I wanted it to be a lion that was like yelling back at its problems, like shouting back, roaring back at the, whether it's the enemy or whether it's the things against us or whatever it is. It's like, I'm going to sing through this. And that's something that we tell our family all the time, is like, we're going to worship through this, we're going to sing through this, or we're going to pray through this. One of those things is how we're getting through this. And so that in particular was just a personification or a animalification of us actually, let's sing through this and let's praise through this, even though it's really hard. Because a lot of the songs on the lion and a lot of the songs on the next one, the river, they're pretty heavy, and they're pretty maybe you would think I was really sad, which at times I have been, generally happy. um but I wanted it to be really bold, a really bold album art that had a signification of strength and and bravery and courage.
Do you have a
No.
favorite song on this album?
I do. I have, and it's my favorite by a lot. It hasn't released yet. It's the final song that comes out when the album releases, or it's the single for the album release. And it's called Needs Reminding. And the entire basis of it is about the conversation or the song that I believe would embody the meeting of Jesus and Peter after Peter has betrayed Jesus and he asks him, "Do you love me?" And I had to like take my own experience and my own feelings about how I have been Peter countless times to the Lord. I have rejected him in ways that I didn't even mean to. I have been afraid to be uncomfortable for his glory multiple times in my life, and I wanted to take all of that way that I feel like I've let the Lord down over and over and over again and write it into a song with something from the Bible. And so it really just means the chorus is, "Do you love me? I don't mind the rest. Feel that heart beating in your chest. It's mine, child, mine, all mine." And then say you love me till your dying breath. Pour your heart until there's nothing left. It's mine, child, mine, all mine. And so it's just like saying like I like the beating heart that's in our chest. That's Jesus's heart. That's his. And we pour our life out. We just keep doing it till there's nothing left. And he says, I don't, and then the hook of it is, I don't mind that you denied me. Sometimes your love just needs reminding. And so maybe I'll send you guys a sneak peek link since you guys are homies now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll be crying again.
Yeah, we just sent you a video of us just crying. It's just like
Yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorites. It might be one of my favorite songs in the whole project in general, like across all three records. But it's a sweet song to me, and I feel like it's like a confession of sorts to the Lord. Like he doesn't need me to do that because he knows my heart, but it's like over the course of my life, how many times have I been Peter in that exact situation? And so yeah, that's my favorite one.
I love that.
Can't wait to hear
We're
it.
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Is there? I think we're going to get to our last question, which we ask everyone. But is there anything else coming up? So you mentioned the 3 albums that are coming out. So The Lion comes out first, and then The River, and then The Evangelist.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd kind of like to let people know about, just so people can look out for it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the progression of the stories. You know, I think that The Lion is a lot of like internal. The River starts to become like you're beginning to like overcome. It's like starting to flow out. And then The Evangelist is really very worship focused. And so if you love worship music and you love the worship music that I've written for either Seven Hills or other artists that I've written for, then you'll probably love that one the most of my things. So because it's very interesting that you know people who know my songs, whether it's songs I wrote for Seven Hills or Chris Tomlin or whoever, they're like, "You're the worship guy," and I was like, "Yeah, I know, but like I love this kind of music," and I like singing just songs, you know, honest songs. And so it's not me appeasing them by any mean. I wouldn't release it just to make somebody happy. But in my roots, you know, I'm a worship leader and I love worship. I love the local church is the hope of the world. And it's not even that the songs have to equip the local church. I don't care if churches do them or not. I just hope that it's worship that people can experience in their car or at their home or in the church or wherever it is that it would meet them. But it's definitely more vertical declaration.
Yeah, I really love that.
Before we get to the last question, can I ask about like your recording process?
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, we didn't get into that.
Yeah, like what's that like? Do you collaborate with other musicians and bring them on board, or are you like one of those crazy people that plays every single instrument? You know, and is it like home recording or is it somewhere else?
Yeah, mostly home recording. It's so I play a few instruments. I do some production myself. I like co-produced quite a bit of the songs, like the song that just came out, Bitter Cup. I co-produced that with another guy. But then there's another writer with Tim Publishing whom I'm signed to is a publishing company that I write for. And he's a producer and he's one of my best friends in the world. And he lives in Cincinnati also. So we collaborate. We've written hundreds of songs together. And when I started telling him about this project, he was like, "I'm in, I want to do it." And so we just started sending each other ideas and he is fast. He is very good at what he does. Well, the crazy thing was most of this album wasn't finished, or most of these projects weren't finished while I was in the hospital with my daughter. And I was spending almost every day for 5 months there. So I lived 30 minutes from the children's hospital she was staying at. So at nighttime, I would drive home 30 minutes after she fell asleep. The nurses and doctors were there. And then I would record my vocals in my studio at home. And then I would bounce them to him. And then I would go back and go to sleep with her and spend the day with her. And then the next day I would sing harmonies or I would make a bunch of gang vocals or whatever it is, because I didn't have access to other people. And a few different times I sent out to some friends, whether it be guitar players or bass players or drummers and stuff. And we just couldn't quite nail it down. And I would say, hey, I can't figure it out. Like, can you help me unlock this groove, or can you play bass or whatever? You guys get it. You do this. So like
Yeah.
sometimes that's the thing. And so, yeah, so it was definitely a group effort, for sure. And I couldn't have pulled it off without friends. And they were beautiful. I mean, they believed in it, and I got the craziest buddy deals ever.
We love those.
I mean, if Tim wants more friends, you know,
Listen, Tim, we want to be your
Hey.
friend.
Yeah, come on.
like, we might send you some projects, Tim.
Oh, you're talking about the guy. Okay, no, Tim Publishing is the publishing. Ezra is the guy.
Oh, Ezra.
Oh, Ezra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ezra
Okay,
and
so
Tim.
we'll run that back. Ezra, if you want any friends.
No, seriously, he is brilliant. I'm not kidding. I mean, the guy is so humble, incredible, loves the Lord. He's worked on like Phil Wickham and Sons of Sunday and all these major stars, but he doesn't even care. He loves working with everybody. And he is incredibly accessible to anybody and everybody. He just wants to make music. It's the most beautiful thing. When I tell you that someone who just actually, he's more about just like putting music out in the world than he is anything else, it's that guy for sure. So Ezra Fredette, if he ever watches this, you're my buddy. I love you so much. You're my best friend. And then you need to go hang out with these guys.
We'll be sending
yeah.
you some music, Ezra.
Yeah, definitely.
love
And
it.
yeah, if you guys are ever in the UK, definitely. Our studio's open, so
And our house is open.
and our
Yeah.
house is open as well. We pray for it, so it's not just for us; it's for everyone. So we'd love to have you stop by and stay over for a bit and maybe record a few songs.
I really want to get down there. Are you guys familiar with Wings Music Group?
We are. I know about them because I've been looking into kind of releasing stuff and also what's happening in the UK Christian world. But yeah,
You have to use them. You have to use them. Don't consider anyone else. Wings, whether it's Music Group or Access, whatever it is, they are the best guys, period. And I'm saying that, and I don't even know if, because maybe we talk about it after it's not recording, but they are so pure and genuinely love the Lord. And it's not a business as much as it is a partnership. And they're my distributor and label, and so I've wanted to go visit Chris, who's one of the founders of it in the UK. So maybe someday I'll find myself up there, and then we can hang out and write. And
yeah. Oh, that'd be amazing.
it'd be awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we always ask everyone who comes on a podcast, who do you think we should speak to next, and which song of theirs should we talk about?
Okay, I definitely know who it is. So are you guys familiar with Rachel Morley? She's a collaborator of mine. The song I released this last Friday is a song called Bitter Cup. I released it with her. Check it out. I've also released a song called Reverie with her, but she is a profound worship leader, songwriter, deep well of all things the Lord. And she has a very interesting story, crazy journey to how she got there. It's really, really beautiful. And I just believe in her. I think she's probably going to be a powerhouse in the world for sharing music about Jesus. And I think that people are starting to catch on, but it hasn't fully hit the rocket thrusters yet. So check her out. Be the first. But she is a writer with Centricity music group or label. I'm not sure exactly what their thing is after the end of it, but brilliant songwriter. Maybe one of the best I've ever met, and
Amazing.
awesome artist.
All right. Yeah, we'll reach out to her.
And song, she released a song that's really beautiful called Surpasses My Understanding. I think that's probably the one that I would say. It's a good one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or Preference.
We'll add
An
it.
old one. Preference, though, is awesome. There
We've
you
got
go.
it saved.
Add it to playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with us and to talk about the song, to recommend people. It's been really, really amazing just hearing your story and hearing some of the reasons behind kind of your decision making when you're writing. And I think it's beautiful. And we're definitely looking forward to not just this upcoming project, but the rest of them coming out throughout the year.
Yeah, I can't wait to go check your stuff out.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna
we
hit that
definitely
out.
we'll send you some stuff and send you some
Yeah.
other stuff that we're working on as well.
Do you guys
It's
care if I
the
pray for
song.
you before we jump off?
Oh yeah, that'll be amazing.